Hello grade 10s, I am your business status tutor, and today we will be looking at our practice and applications questions under the topic that says business sectors. Without wasting your time, let us just go straight to the questions. We'll start with the practice questions. The first question says, identify the business sector represented by each statement below. So what it means, it simply means that we are going to read the statement. After reading the statement, then we are going to say if whether it's a primary sector, secondary sector, or tertiary sector. Okay. It says number A, Ndlovu buses transport people from all over within South Africa. So here, Ndlovu buses, they transport people from all over within South Africa. So our keyword here would be transport. Where do we find, in which sector do we find transport? Transport, it's not a product, but it's rather a service. So obviously our service sector would be our tertiary sector. Yes, you got that right. So the correct answer for this statement would be tertiary sector. Let's move to number B. Jabulani Bricks Factory produces quality products. Here's a brick factory, it produces quality product. So our keyword here would be the term produces. So which sector deals with producing products? Giving you 2 seconds. And the correct answer would be our secondary sector, because that sector deals with transformation of raw materials into useful products. So the correct answer is secondary sector. Okay, let's move on to our third question. Zulu mines export gold to different countries. So here is our guiding word, mines. Where do we find mines? In what sector do we find our mines? It is the primary sector. Yes, you are correct. It is the primary sector. So from now, learners, I'm sure you understand that tertiary sector deals with services, secondary sector deals with the transformation of goods, of natural resources rather, into useful goods, and primary sector deals with the extraction and cultivation of raw materials from the nature. Let us continue. Our second question says, explain the meaning of primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. We'll start with the primary sector. The primary sector deals with the extraction or collecting or cultivating of raw materials and natural resources. So obviously our primary sector deals with the pulling out of raw materials from Mother Nature. And these natural resources include things such as livestock, fish, timber, coal, and gold. So what we find in the primary sector has to do with the natural resources, and those natural resources amongst others, not to say it's only these ones specifically. We have our livestock. You have your cattle, you have your chickens, you have your cows, we have our fishes, they fall under the primary sector. We have our coal, it falls under the primary sector. Then let's move on to the meaning of the secondary sector. The secondary sector is often referred to as manufacturing industries because valuable products are created or manufactured or produced so that these products can serve a meaningful function or purpose to customers or consumers. So in this sector, we deal with changing of those raw materials to become useful products that can be used by customers. We deal with producing, making sure that the raw materials are no longer the same as raw materials, but they become finished products that can be used by me and you as a consumer. Then moving on to the tertiary sector, businesses that offer services to other businesses and consumers. So in the tertiary sector, we find businesses that offer services. They do not offer a tangible product, a product that you can see, but they deal with services rather than products themselves. So they offer services to me and you as consumers. They also offer their services to other businesses as well. They exist to facilitate the transportation, distribution, and sale of goods produced in the secondary sector. So obviously they deal with making sure that all those products that have been produced in the secondary sector, it's being taken from secondary sector and distributed, transported for distribution in different points of sales, whereby me and you can be able to reach those products. Then the third question says, advise businesses on the relationship between a primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. The primary sector extracts raw materials, the secondary sector transforms the raw materials into products, and the tertiary sector sells products and supports the activities of other primary and secondary sectors. So do not be confused by the term, the relationship. The relationship has to do with how these businesses link with each other. Obviously, the primary sector depends on the secondary sector for manufactured goods. For instance, your machinery, your equipment, the primary sector buy those machines from the secondary sector in order for them to be able to use those machines in the primary sector. In order for the primary and secondary sector to bank the money that they have received in their sectors, where do they get the services, such as the financing services? They get those services from the tertiary sector, which offers services rather than products. The primary, secondary, also depends on the tertiary sector to provide services such as insurance and transport. So obviously, primary sector needs the tertiary sector for insurance services, since the tertiary sector deals with services. The primary sector, if they want to insure those natural resources that they have extracted from nature, they are going to go straight to the tertiary sector and seek the services, which is the insurance service, which is found in the tertiary sector. And also, the secondary sector also relies on the tertiary sector for services such as insurance, such as transport, in order to make sure that those goods that are being produced in the secondary sector are being distributed in different points of sales. Let us just go for a quick ad break and we will be back. See you shortly.